Welcome to Awaken Health Pod. I'm Jennifer Grogan, Integrative Health Coach with Greenleaf Wellness in Central Illinois. With me today is my partner in health, Shanna Scordel, Integrative Health Coach with Inspire Wellness for You, all the way in Arizona. Hey, Shanna, how are you today?
Hi, Jen. Pretty awesome. December 31st, 2017, podcast number 6. And
Yay.
it's a holiday, and here we are. We're so excited.
Yes. So you got big plans for this evening?
Not too big. My parents are going to come over. We'll spend some time with the kids and just kind of do some traditional New Year's Eve food for our family. And, of course, desserts, Gotta get back on the fruits and veggies tomorrow.
The kombucha tea.
Yes, exactly. So we're just going to hang out here, probably have a fire, and a couple friends might pop in.
Very nice.
Yeah. So our topic today, I'm actually glad you asked about what I was doing for New Year's Eve, because our topic today is New Year's resolution hacks. So just to name a few, we're going to kind of talk about setting the bar to exercise, spend more time with your kids, and a whole bunch of other topics. But, why don't we get started with when listeners, or most of the population, makes a New Year's resolution, we want to give you some tips on how to make it more possible to achieve, right, Jen?
Exactly.
Okay, so number one, when people who don't exercise plan to exercise and work out, a lot of times people go, I'm going to exercise, 5 days a week. And it's almost not achievable, and then we get discouraged and feel guilty and get on ourselves, and then we ultimately don't really meet our goal. So a couple tips from my perspective is starting small. So just say I'm going to exercise 2 days a week, and then do that consecutive, and then when you feel more endurance, bump it up to 3 days, 4 days, and then 5 days if you see fit. And then I also I recommend having some home equipment to fit in. So whether you're working out at home or at a gym or at a studio, if you're not working out at home, it's nice to have pieces at home. So if you get 15 minutes here or 10 minutes there, you could lift a couple weights or do the bike for a few minutes, or whatever it is. I just recommend having some equipment at home. What are your thoughts, Jen?
I'm all about equipment at home. I have equipment here myself that I utilize. Another thing to be mindful of when you're wanting to start working out, if you have body pain, joint pain, or whatever, you want to be cautious of what classes to take. I know the real popular ones are the hardcore, like CrossFit, body pump, and stuff like that. Just really listen to your body, because if you have the pain and you go and do those type of exercises, you're just asking for more trouble. So stretching, you want to do a lot of stretching, and then maybe start with some light walking. Make a goal of like a mile. Start at half, make a goal a mile, and then work your way up from there to add more to it. You could try swimming, which is really good for the body as well. So we have a local gym here that offers swimming. You can do some yoga for the stretching and breathing, and then maybe work your way into some cycling and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that you can do. I know being winter, home equipment is really good, because if you can't make it out because of all the snow, then you've got the stuff to fall back on. Even if you're cooking it in the kitchen a lot, you can do your squats in the kitchen.
For sure.
And just different movements. And before you know it, you're like, oh, I just did 20 squats today in my own kitchen. Tomorrow I'm going to plan on 30. So, it's stuff like that. So home equipment is good, and just being creative on how you do your movement for exercise at home.
Good job. I like all of that. I agree. The next one, so a lot of times moms or dads, family members will say, I want to spend more time with my kids. And so I find that if you find a time that works best for everybody involved, that's really important to just kind of know that window of time that really works. And then also focusing on quality, not quantity. So a lot of times we think, oh, I need to spend the whole day with this child and a whole day with that child. And it doesn't happen as often as we want sometimes. So if you just focus on getting in those daily windows where it's very, quality oriented, everyone's, it's going to work for everybody involved, and you're going to feel, great as a parent. The kids are going to love it. They'll probably start to look forward to that time as well. And so those are just kind of some tips that I have. What about you, Jen?
Quality time with family is really important, especially if you've got the kids at home still. A lot of times, if you don't want to spend the money to go do something fun, you can always look into your town and see what entertainment there is at a low cost. You can also be very creative. So, like here in Illinois, we have all the snow, so you can do snowball fights, make snowmen if your kids like to be in the cold.
Right.
um, Mine are at the age where they want the Xbox, so you can block out time to do some fun games with them for a while and know that, okay, 2 hour block devoted to them, I can go do my stuff later. Um, then you do look forward to that, the laughing and stuff like that. So I'm already looking forward to today, surprising my kids with, okay, you know what, you got a dirt bike Xbox game. Let's sit down and play together and see how mom can, kick your butt in the game.
That's cool.
But there's just so many things you can do, like introduce them to Monopoly if you've never played that, and just, be creative. You can do crafts, you can do fun stuff. And if you've got real little kids, I know the mom and dad's probably like, I'm always with my kids, I need a break. But to your kids, you are their world, and it's the memories that you want to give to them. So, block out your time. If you want to go do something fun, you can do rock wall climbing, which is something we have around here. Indoor activities with the skee ball and the arcade games, and just make a budget. If you're going to go out to do that stuff, set the money aside ahead of time, and like a week or two in advance, to know that when you go do this, you've got the fun money to do it with.
Well, and also it's just the little things. I mean, a lot of times, a dad might be in the garage working on a project and he's like, oh, I have to finish this project so I can go hang out with the kids. But if you just let the kid, hold a screwdriver or move a board, or sometimes my husband lets the kids like do silly things because they think they're helping, but they're still spending time together. I hope the kids don't listen to that and question me, but we love you guys. Or just, having them help cook, like having them, put the salt and pepper on, or sometimes I'll give the kids a bowl and they'll just stir, something silly that's in there just while I'm preparing something else that maybe they shouldn't be helping with. So just try to get them more involved and hands-on. It's really helpful and it's special, and if you want to spend more times with your kids, just making these little moments counts.
Exactly.
So a lot of times people also want to start meditation or taking more time for themselves. And truly, I believe actually putting this on your schedule. Don't keep it in your mind. Don't put it in your notes. Put it on your schedule, And so, or even sticky notes on the bathroom mirror helps. But your notes in your phone, is probably, if it's like mine, there's like 400 things in there. But if you put it actually on your schedule, you're going to check it every day. You're going to see it every day. You're going to make that a focus point. And so having 7 to 8 hours of sleep is really helpful. Having better sleep, and then you're just able to look at your schedule better, get more done, be more productive. And so try to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and then put yourself time on schedule. And hopefully that's a helpful hint to the listeners.
Yes.
What do you think about self-time as a New Year's resolution?
Blocking out time for yourself, or
for sure.
Yeah, I think that's huge. I think it falls into the whole category of self-care. Give yourself that time. If you know ahead of time you want to do something, then definitely put it on your calendar. Because, like you said, thinking about it's great, but it's more achievable when you know you've got it down to do it, and this is a day and time you're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just holding yourself more accountable that way. So I think that's big.
Yeah, I like that. Having a morning routine. So this could include your self-time, but also it could be something different. So having just, whether you have tea or you take the dogs out, or you sit on the front porch before you start your day, whatever it may be, having a morning routine is pretty vital to, overall health and wellness and success and that sort of thing. But I do want to recommend, it's called The Miracle Morning. It's a book by Hal Elrod, and I love his theory. It's amazing. It's really neat. So his book comes in, regular format and also audio format, and he does this thing called savers. So S is silence, A, affirmations, V, vision, E, exercise, R, reading, and S, scribing, which we've talked about this before. That's journaling, actually writing something down on paper. And so in his book, he, goes more into detail about savers. But if you just wake up every morning and you think savers, I'm going to have some silence. I'm going to, give myself some affirmations, vision my future. This is great because a lot of times people wake up and they just grab their phone right away and start checking their emails right away. And I love this because it's a great way to get productive right away. But then again, it's like just get just a couple minutes when you step out of bed to yourself, your morning routine, get it done. It's important. And so this book might help for listeners who want to focus on morning rituals as their New Year's resolution.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
What else do you have on that?
For morning routine, I know people probably thinking, well, I don't have time. I got to get up ready for work. You can get up, 20, 30 minutes before that. You can have that silent time then. Or if you want to do a devotion, you can. Those are really short passages. You can do some prayer in there and start your day off on a positive note. You can drink that hot tea before your kids get up. You could do some stretching. You could just do some belly breathing. Or, you know what, you can get the paper and just start reading the local newspaper if you never have time to read that any other time. So start out small with your time, but you can get up a little bit earlier. It just takes a lot of accountability to yourself and motivation to do that, but it can be done.
That's a really good suggestion. Start out small, kind of like with the working out. So give yourself 5 minutes, give yourself 10 minutes, by day 5, maybe you've got 15 minutes, and then you can work to your 20 minutes a day. And again, getting the 7-8 hours of sleep is helpful because then you're not feeling like you're waking up earlier and feeling more tired to get something done. So those are good ones. We did talk about scribing. We mentioned that. So a lot of people, I think it's a common thing that people want to start journaling. And for this, I recommend buying a nice journal rather than like making notes on your phone and journaling on this piece of paper and this notepad. That works too if that's the only way that you can fit it in. But having a nice journal that you could fill up and, buy another one later and always have to reflect on or to, share with your kids one day when they're older. I think that's a helpful hint, right?
Yes. Also, when you write it out, you have more of a connection with how you're feeling rather than typing it, I think.
For sure, yeah.
You're actually seeing the words being formed on the paper, and it's actually releasing how you're feeling, and you have a connection with that. And then you can always go back and flip through the pages and connect the dots and see what, what's changed for you in a positive, what maybe took a different turn than you thought, and then just keep writing away, keep everything on paper.
Yeah, I think when you and I were going through IIN, we learned about morning pages. And so a lot of folks who like to journal, they'll do it in the morning and they'll write all their stuff. I mean, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But it's helpful. It does. It gets rid of all that negative. And you would almost think the opposite. Like, I don't want to start my day writing about a bunch of junk. But you get it out of your system, and then you can focus on all the positives and not hold, a grudge throughout the day, right?
Exactly.
Very cool. Well, let's see here. Organizing schedules. This is interesting because, like we mentioned, when you do have young kids at home, schedules change. So, like right now, everybody's on winter break, and I'm sure schedules are not the normal routine. And during, when they're in school and then they get out of school, the transition, the schedule changes. So organizing your schedule with work. Some good suggestions are to actually prioritize. So write down everything you want to do in a day. Try to combine, certain things like spending time with kids and cooking dinner. Well, you can combine those two. And then delegating. If you can't get everything you want done in a day, but you're able, whether it be financially or if you have resources, to delegate, whether it be a housekeeping or a laundry service, babysitting for date night, giving your kids their own morning routine so that way you can have your morning routine if you guys get up at the same time. So different things there, but prioritizing and delegating is helpful when considering organizing your schedule. Do you agree?
Yes. And if you don't get everything done that's on that list, maybe of 50, 100 things in one day, it's okay. There's always tomorrow. So
Yeah.
by prioritizing them in order, you get the major things done first. And
Right.
then you can relax a little more in the evening, and then no, tomorrow's going to pick right back up. You're going to prioritize the new list of things that are left over from the first list, get the top ones done, and you just keep doing that.
Exactly. Um, Now, another one that you came up with, Jen, was declutter. I thought this was great. Um, well, my suggestion to that is what better time to start and give yourself a deadline. I mean, if declutter is at the top of your list, I think it would be important to have a deadline that's, efficient and start, do a little bit each day, clean up, organize. What did you want to say about decluttering?
This is a big one that I do probably once a year, every 6 months maybe. I have, bless her heart, my sister-in-law is awesome at organizing, so I utilize her help. Talk about delegating.
That's so
I call
cool.
her up and say, I'm feeling so overwhelmed right now in certain rooms because it just seems to be so cluttered. Please come over and help. So what we do is we look at the whole room that's connected to the next room in the doorway. And you want like a sense of feng shui, like everything's just flowing through the house. It's just
Mm-hmm.
open and nothing's sitting in the corners. So what we do is we stand at the front door and we look at the living room. Okay, what areas are piled too high in spots? And then what you do is you just give yourself a time limit in a basket or a tote, and you just start going through everything right then and there. And then I do that, and then she removes it from the room because that's now throwaway pile. And then we stand up again, look at the next room. And you're going to do that throughout your whole entire main level, your bedrooms, wherever you're at that you're filling it. And when you get done, you're like, oh my gosh, that was so easy. But it's that accountability that you've got someone right there to help you. And, if you don't want your spouse to help you because they like to hang on to things, then call a friend over. Because they have a sense of saying, well, have you touched this in 6 months? No. Have you worn it in 6 months?
Right.
No. Then it's out the window, So it's just easier to get an outside person to come in and do it. So everything just flows that way. And the peace that you get, and it's like, oh my gosh, all that pressure is off my shoulders. So we actually do that probably once a year to do the major things, and every 6 months for certain rooms. So for instance, our basement, I wanted a workout room. The kids wanted the Xbox room. So she came over within 2-3 hours. We had the whole basement organized. So it sounds really stressful, but if you get someone that knows how to organize and see things differently and help you, it's so worth it.
Awesome. I love this. I'm so glad you shared that story. It's fun. It's important to socialize. It's part of, your overall health. So that's a great way to do it. And then you get an outside perspective on the situation.
Exactly. Another thing you can do too, and I've done this in the past when she wasn't available, you set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes. You go through a room first, and you're going to look at the areas that you want to change. In that 5-10 minutes, you're going to take a laundry basket, and you're going to throw stuff in there that you don't want in that room. And then when that timer is done, you go to the next room, you set it again, do the same thing. So now you got like this rush through, but when you look back at it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Knowing that whenever you remove it from a room, you don't just go store it somewhere else.
Right.
It has to have an outlet of give it away, garage sale, throw away.
Absolutely.
But it does help.
That is awesome. Good idea. I also like to look up tips online, organization tips. I find the neatest things. So I found, and I did not come up with this idea. I give credit to the person who did. I saw it somewhere on Pinterest. I don't have a Pinterest account, so I'm not sure who did this. But they took the circle shower hooks. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And they put them on hangers in the closet. And people would put baseball caps, tank tops, bras, hats, scarves, all sorts of things on one hanger because you have all these little circle loops that are connecting in like the little tank top straps or in the hat buckles.
Oh.
So cool and such a space saver.
I never would have thought of that.
No, so I thought that was a neat one. So just when it comes to decluttering and organizing, feel free to go online and look up tips, interior decorating tips or organization tips, or there's all kinds of things online for that.
That's really cool.
Now, for anybody who wants to focus on eating healthy or feeling better, call us for health coaching. New Year's resolution right there. I want to eat better. I want to feel better. I want to have more energy, lose weight, all that good stuff. Call Jen or myself. We'll get you started with a health coaching program and you'll see significant difference. You okay with that, Jen?
Perfectly fine with that. That's awesome.
Another one you came up with when people want to quit fast foods. Quit fast food eating. So my personal touch on that would be, well, meal prep. So, take one day a week where you shop, get your recipes, do all your cooking in a day, and then you've always got like to-go food with you. You've got fast food, grabby food. It makes it easy when you're hungry and on the go. Also, there's so many documentaries out there. I mean, what was the older one? Food Inc. There's so many, King Corn. So I'm pretty sure that most people who watch one of these, it's going to affect them. You're going to get some knowledge. You might not want to go to the drive-thru.
Exactly. I think a lot of times people go to drive-thrus because they're always in the car, maybe with their kids, go back and forth from sports or just different things. So another thing that you can do too is if you're home and you're going to be getting out with the kids a lot around the mealtime, pack a cooler.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
So now you're saving money, but you're also saving, them from eating things that they probably shouldn't be eating, and then you're giving them better options because you're the one preparing it, putting it in a cooler.
Yeah.
And then they can eat it in the car, just like you would if you were stopping for food. And then also you're saving time. So you're going to get to your destination, maybe save a little bit of time at home, and then that way you're on the go, but you're also eating on the go, but it's healthier options.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, just things like boiling a bunch of hard-boiled eggs or grabbing string cheese or, little things like that are easy go food. Obviously, fruit, bananas, apples, grapefruits, all that sort of thing. So you could put a whole bunch of those in a protein drink and you'll have, hours worth of snacking. Healthy snacking.
Well, I know another area that's a decluttering area is the pantry and the refrigerators. A lot of people want to start New Year's resolutions with food choices at home. Where do I start, pantry or fridge? I would say both, and that's where we as health coaches can come in and help you as well, because you want to eliminate the processed foods from the pantry and replace with better options. You want to do the same with the fridge. You want to get rid of the, sugared juice drinks.
Oh, yeah.
We can give you better options to choose, and we can help you stock the fridge by doing the grocery store tour and coming in and helping you go through your pantry of what you should and shouldn't have.
Exactly.
So,
and it's a ton of fun. It's very informative, tons of fun. Learn some new ideas, try some new stuff, and feel better.
Exactly.
So, am I missing any? Are there any other major New Year's resolutions that you think are common that if we gave the listeners a couple tips on them, it might help them out so they have more success with their goals?
I think we hit a lot. I just want to reemphasize the water intake. You definitely want to be drinking a lot of water, especially if you're going to start working out. And if you are one that wants to start doing all these power cord workout classes, water, protein shakes. Probably another one that people want to do is eliminate the cravings. You can add protein into your diet more, which does help with the cravings, but just increase your water. It's really important because you're going to be sweating a lot and you're going to be burning a lot of calories. So just keep everything hydrated, and restock your body with proper protein.
Yeah, and my big thing is definitely cravings as well. So just really focusing for 4 days on fruits and vegetables and water and proteins, good sources, yogurts and certain bars and grass-fed or plant-based quality proteins, and spring water, not
exactly.
not pH or RO. I mean, not RO or filtered water because it's stripped of all the minerals, and you need those electrolytes, especially when, like Jen said, you're working out extra and sweating more. Also, with it being winter and it being so cold out, people aren't reminded as frequently to drink water. I'm so glad you mentioned this one. This is so cool. There's habit apps. So for New Year's resolutions, you could download a habit app, set your habits for the day, your good habits that you want to improve on, and then it's just like a handy little checklist. And usually they come with like some sort of water calculator where you can input, I want to drink 6 glasses of water a day. I drink 1, drink 2, drink 3, so on and so forth. So definitely drinking water, quality spring water. It's got a better pH. It's not as acidic. Helps, prevent cancer environments and that sort of thing. But tracking your water is important. So.
Exactly.
Have you seen, I just seen this online. It was after Christmas. It was so cool. I wanted to buy it for my husband. And I had took a picture of it. I didn't know the price of it. And then I showed my husband it. And it was like $55 a bottle. But they had a, sign up with your email and maybe you win. So they're going to pull the winner on January 1st. So we were like, well, let's sign up. Let's not buy it yet. Let's see if we win. But I think it's called Hydrate Me or Hydrate Spark. It's a water bottle, but it's a smart water bottle. So what it does is it's like reusable, and it comes with an app for your phone, and it tracks every little sip. It tracks every little bit that you drink. And if you haven't drank in for a while, it lights up to just kind of like remind you. So there's no noise or anything, but if you're sitting on your desk, you just see this little light up on your water bottle, reminds you to take a drink. How cool is that?
That sounds really awesome. I want one now.
I know, and they're beautiful. Their video. I watched their video. It was amazing. I mean, these people who came up with this, they quit their jobs and everything. They came up with the idea and the design in like 54 hours, and then just did nothing but implemented it, and got it out on the market eventually. And so they wanted the appearance of it to be like natural, and it is. It's beautiful. I'll send you a picture of it after our podcast today.
Awesome.
And I think what I'll do is we'll put a link in the Facebook page for the listeners, so that way they can check it out too.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. Well, what are your New Year's Eve plans tonight?
Well,
besides the dirt bike video game with your son.
Oh yes. I think we're gonna go to a movie.
Cool.
We can brave the cold. Super cold here. We're gonna go see Daddy's Home 2, and then we're going to take him to their favorite pizza place. It's a Chicago pizza place, but we have one local, so we're going to surprise him with that.
That's awesome. I think we might watch Scrooge today. We didn't watch it this season, and I'm like, Christmas is over, but it doesn't mean we can't watch the movies, and that's a good one, so we might watch that with the kids during the day today.
Awesome.
So, listeners, how to subscribe to Awaken Health Pod. So right now we're on Facebook. So Awaken Health Pod on Facebook. You can follow us there, and then we typically do our recordings once a week, usually on Mondays. But with the last 2 weeks of the year, we just changed it up a little bit. But Monday mornings, we get them posted by the afternoon of every week. New topics, unless we go into further detail. Please ask us questions, and we'll make sure to answer them as much as we can on our next podcast. So, Jen, I hope you and your family have a wonderful, happy, safe, warm New Year's and a happy New Year.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you so much. Well, that's it, guys. The last day of the year. Make some magic happen. I hope some of these tips helped you out.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.